What you hear. Mm, What you hear. What you hear is not what you see. You hear with your ears and you see with your eyes. You do. And man and women, men and women have eyes and ears. Yes, we do. God can also see and hear. God Almighty can do everything that you can do and much, much more. God can do anything that an angel can do and much, much more. For you see, God created the angels. They don't have flesh and bones. But if you see an angel, that angel can do whatever he decides to do. And I don't know of any she angels. I don't. I don't believe there are she angels. But that's me. You may believe completely some other way. You may. But you have learned, I have learned in 77 years a lot of things. I have 77 years of learning. And today I learned how to type in a title and make a video. I already knew I had done it before today. What have you learned since you started learning? You can find the words train up a child like they should be, and they will. But children today, they're not being trained up like they used to be. They're not. We got too many toys today. Back in the day when Noah got out of the boat after the water had dried up, he didn't have to worry about writing a newspaper. Mm-mm. Yeah, he didn't have to worry about reading a book. No, he didn't. Because when Noah and his sons had, seen things and things started growing, they ate. They ate food. They ate what was here on the earth. They weren't going up into the sky to eat. Now, the angels and God can come here. God and the angels can come here. It doesn't matter what you've been told. What you've been told may not be the truth. You can hear lies. Lies have been told, many, many lies. And I'm sure you have believed some of them. I have believed some of them. I have. And I was glad to find out that I shouldn't believe lies. Now, how did I come out to where I can know? God said, according to what is written, that he would do something. When God says, I will, that does not mean somebody else will. It does not mean somebody else will. So don't come trying to explain to me what you don't know. Because when God says, I will, that doesn't mean somebody else will do it for me. God does not need anything done for him. Although things can be done for him, they can. But it's not because he needs them. How have you been instructed? What instructions were given to you? Who instructed you? I know who instructed me. I grew up with a family. My mother instructed me. My daddy instructed me. And when I started to school, Miss Hale instructed me because she was the first grade teacher. They instructed me there until I graduated from school. And I had learned some things. I had. Did you graduate? Uh, Adam and Eve's children didn't have to go to school. There were no schools. They didn't have to graduate. The only thing that the children of Adam and Eve had to do was what people do. And God was right there with them for years. Now, somebody might have told you otherwise, and you might have believed what you heard. But today, I'm telling you, if you believe them, you won't believe me. Because I'm not going to tell you what they said, because I don't believe what they believe. My Father's house, you can see over my head. Disciples meet for edification. You see those words. There's a number, there's a Gmail, there's an address. I can be found. I'm not hiding from anyone. Why are you trying to hide? Are you trying to hide? Do you want to be hidden? I don't know. But I know for certain that Adam and Eve and all of their children saw God. I don't know of any that didn't see God. Now, there were maybe some that did not see God because God could only be seen wherever God was. Cain did not get to see God after certain things happened because Cain didn't come back to town. Cain didn't come back into the city where God lived. And you said God didn't live in a city. Prove it. You prove to me that God didn't live in a city. A city that had a garden. God lived in a city and there was a garden. Oh, foolish ones who have believed lies. I believed lies. I did. I believed them till I found out the truth. How did I find out the truth? God told me the truth. And you say God has never told anybody anything. Oh, you have no idea. You don't have a clue. You have not believed anything. You have not read the book. You have not seen what happened after the flood. You may not even believe there was a flood. But will that change the fact? No. I bought this shirt in 2010. This is not a new shirt that I have on. I can remember what I paid for it. It was $44.44 in 2010. I have no idea what shirts are selling for today. I do know what I bought and paid. When I bought and paid for this shirt, I also bought and paid for a bow and an arrow and a bow case with some arrows in it and some broadheads. And I went hunting. I did. I'm sure I wore this shirt hunting more than once. And I shot some animals with that bow. Yes, I did. I had shot some animals with some other bows before I got that one, but I shot some more with that one. Now, what does that prove? Nothing but that I shot a bow and arrow and killed some animals. But what I want you to understand that what you've been told is not true if you don't believe that God has been seen. If you don't believe God has been seen, you are just not believing. That's just that simple. Disciples meet for edification, but I don't even know that's what they did years ago. They got organizations now that you can, join, and you can go there for a party. You can go there and be entertained. How do I know? I'm 77 years old. I've been around. For 40 years, I've seen some things change. I saw things change from the time I was 15 years old. Because when I was 15 years old, I no longer lived in a wooden house because I moved into a brick house. And I moved out of the brick house into another brick house. And I moved out of that brick house into an A-frame house that wasn't brick. And then I sold the A-frame house and moved back into the house that I had moved into in 1962, the brick house. That's my father's house. I don't know what happened to you. I don't know where you've lived. I know where I've been. I know where I am now. And I know what I'm telling you does not fit what you've been told by some others, because I hear others tell people something every day. God told me to do something. I don't know what God has told you, but if God tells me to give you instructions, that's what I'm going to do. Does that offend you? Do you find that offensive? You can, and many do. The words "you will be hated," I understand. Do you understand my words here today on this video? Do you understand that it was God who appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? I don't know that God's appeared to anybody since Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. When I say appeared, I'm talking about visibly seen, walking. Don't Don't do it, please. Don't do it. You will be offended. You will be offended by what the reply comes back. Just like they were offended when they talked to Jesus years ago. You want to find out how Jesus offended some people? All he had to do was open his mouth and speak. And when he spoke the words in his place of worship, in a synagogue in his hometown, at the age of 30, thereabouts, they wanted to kill him. They wanted to kill the man who had opened and read and said the words in their hearing. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, and he has anointed me to do something. And there's nothing anyone in town can do about it. Nobody can do anything about it. You know what that means? I know what it means. You think about it and see if you can figure out what it means. If you can't, then you just won't. What am I going to do today? I'm going to preach the gospel of the kingdom. And I'm going to tell people about the Son of God that Mary gave birth to in Bethlehem years ago. She gave birth to a brand new baby. The first one that she gave birth to, she named Jesus. Oh, she had quite an experience before she had the baby. She did. So did some others. I have been given permission by God to do things. And some people don't like it one bit. But there's nothing I can do about it. And this video will not go over 21 minutes. Because I am watching the clock. But I want people to know and understand that the gospel of the kingdom is going to be preached, proclaimed, and heard. You are going to hear some other gospels, and you might hear some things about some other kingdoms. You might, but you won't hear about them from me. You will hear it from them that believe something else. And I deal with them. I will deal with them daily. It's a fact. If you don't believe it, you just don't believe it. But God raised Jesus from the dead. Jesus did not raise himself from the dead. Jesus didn't lay his life down. No, they crucified him. So if you are some of the people that have believed the other story, today's your chance to relieve yourself of that foolishness and know the truth. I've told you the truth, and I'm ending the video right now. as I speak.